division, going to move over to the IMCA Modifieds?
Yeah, man, and it's tough. I don't want to sell the late model. I love late model racing. I've been a big time late model supporter for years. I mean, you know that.
Absolutely.
And I'll travel up and down the I-5 corridor going to these tracks. I'm gonna miss it, man. It hasn't really sunk in because obviously I still have the car in my possession right now.
So the deal's not done. Is this going to happen, Joey?
Yeah, it's gonna happen. We have a binding agreement. I think we both talked enough now on the phone and have commitments to each other that we can make this thing pretty cut in stone and dry and done deal. I mean, obviously I haven't delivered it and we haven't, handed everything over, but it's a done deal. I mean, the whole point about getting out of late model racing is not getting out of it because I don't love it anymore or because I'm getting bored of it. It's not that at all. I'll probably still race late models next year.
I'm sure you'll be in a couple different cars next year.
Limited basis, but the whole point is to get them here modified so I can go travel the country. I want to go racing, not here. I want to go racing somewhere where, I could put my talents or, my setup to the test against, the other grades across the country and get some notoriety to the West Coast. Yeah, like Boone or Batesville, Arkansas, or, I can go run the Midwest, Nebraska, or, other tracks in Iowa. And
absolutely.
We're all on the same playing ground. So, that's the whole decision behind it, is just to be able to go places more. And it's kind of a sad deal, but late model racing's kind of in the shitter down here, in the West Coast. And you just don't know what's going to happen with it. Unfortunately, you every year you think optimistically about it, but you just don't know.
I'm going to say this
uphill slide.
I'm going to say this for the record. I want everybody to hear it. I want everybody to listen and pay attention. Joey, I think you sold your car at a very bad time.
At a very bad time?
I think you sold your car at a bad time when it comes to what you just said. Late model racing, I think, is on the upswing. It's coming back, and I think next year is going to be a game changer for that division.
Yeah, but then it comes along the lines about how many tracks will be, is really worth it to race at a high level. You only have a handful of them on a weekly basis. So, not knowing what the future holds for a couple tracks kind of throws a curveball in there too.
No, so. I understand that fully. I totally understand the decision that you made and why you made it, and I don't think anybody can blame you. Certainly none of your fans. I mean, your fans are going to follow you whether you're racing late models or tricycles. They're going to be there supporting you. The modified rank, I think I like what you said. The rules package is for everybody. You don't have to worry about, like they say in Days of Thunder, getting beat by another car. You got to worry about getting beat by a driver. And the modifieds they're competitive. And I think that, given your history, a few years ago when you jumped in one, you bought one, you had it for 5 races, you won 3 out of the 5 you were in, and I think you found some successful situations there very, very quickly, and I think that's going to roll over. It's not just the race car that makes Joey Tanner successful. You can take a good race car and put it in the hands of anybody, and it's not going to win without good talent. And Joey is exactly that. He's a phenomenal talent behind the wheel. We watch him. We watch his decisions behind the wheel, how he drives. Very smart, very fast, very aggressive, but very smooth. Not everybody can do that. Now, once he does that in a modified, like he's done in the past, he's going to quickly establish himself as a premier driver. Everybody expects that. Joey, do you know what type of car you're going with next year?
That was my question.
Well, I just kind of got off the phone with somebody about getting a car, so I'm not going to release it yet. But
okay.
Yeah, I've kind of made a good decision of what I'm going to do. It's a car that not a lot of people run out here. It's going to be different, so that's what I want to be. I want to be different. I don't want to be the same as everybody else. There's only a couple of those cars out here. I'll say that, but
so
like I said, they ain't done deal yet either.
You're definitely not talking about a Shaw or a GRT. We know that on the West Coast. No. Those are, I don't know if you pay attention to some of the dirt track marketing that's been going on social media lately, but there is a company out there saying, hey, listen, buy our car, drive our car, win in our car, and we're going to pay you. You're going to get a check from the factory. Have you seen this? Victory Race Cars has said, you win in our car, we're going to pay you $100 for every win. You win the track championship, we're going to give you $1,000.
Yeah.
You want to get people in your seat. That right there says a lot. What did you think about that ad when you saw it, Joey?
I thought it was cool, man. I haven't seen that.
I have
before.
never seen. You've grown up your entire life.
It's a good marketing. It's a good marketing, stint to get people in cars like that, because that chassis in particular. There's not a whole lot of them. I mean, the most chassis you see around the country, you got Shaws, GRTs,
Rage,
and Rage chassis.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the majority of them.
Right.
You got other chassis builders, but yeah, that's a good way to get some marketing out for yourself and for your cars, man. And they're not bad cars; they're good cars. I know that. What is it, the 10 car from California?
Sanders.
Yeah. No, not Sanders. Anyways.
Well, anyway, got one. That is a genius marketing. I don't want to say scheme, but a marketing plan. That is absolutely amazing. I bet you start seeing a lot of people in those cars. That may break the bank for that. You get some good guys in there winning some races. That's a lot of money to be handing out. But man, I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to see what you do in a modified and see where you go with this, because I think one thing I can't disagree with you is the state of late model racing in the West right now isn't ideal. It's definitely not what it used to be. Modifieds are kind of the division that's getting all the recognition right now. I think that you've got a great opportunity to advance your racing career, whether it's on dirt or otherwise. You've won in NASCAR late models. You've won in modifieds and straight stocks and late models. I think with the modified division as a feature division in this country right now, you're setting yourself up for, possibly earning a ride back east, Joey.
Yeah, and that's
is that the ultimate goal?
It's always been my goal from the day one since I started racing cars. But as I get older, I satisfy myself with just being a good Northwest driver and just do the best I can. Never giving up, but obviously knowing that the chances are very slim to get notoriety like that. Obviously, we ran a K&N a couple of times this year,
right?
K&N series, and just knowing the cost of everything and knowing what it takes and knowing the commitment with work schedule and everything, it takes a lot. So I don't know. I'm in it for the fun factor and for and for wins and for notoriety for the West Coast. And for putting on a show for fans. If it wasn't for that, having the fan base I do, which I have an awesome fan base. It amazes me every weekend I go out to different tracks, and I got such a great fan following. It's unbelievable. And it kind of makes me keep going.
You've got one of the biggest in the Western states. There's no doubt. Everywhere you unload, there are Joey Tanner shirts and fans. And Joey, let me ask you. You just mentioned something. You said the words notoriety on the West Coast. What was your reaction to Ethan Dotson at the Super Nationals in Boone this year?
Dude, that was awesome. Man, I was watching that, and he was bad fast all week, and he won the first night preliminaries, and then he won every time he was on the track, except for I think he didn't win the race of champions. I don't even know if he's in that, but it was a sloppy, wet mess anyways.
Right, right.
But, yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me, though. Ethan's good. And he's been running back there.
Ethan is a phenomenal driver, and he's doing it in the Victory Circle chassis produced in Bakersfield, California.
That was an idea about running, too, because I'm actually over at Colin Weinberger shop right now.
Right. Well, and Colin, another extreme, a great talent. And at VC, he's won a lot of races and a couple championships in that. We watched him pull off the win at Southern Oregon for Speed Week. He was bad. It was him and Kellen Chadwick at Speed Week this year. But, Joey, let me tell you, I think with the modifieds, you're setting yourself up for an opportunity. And I'm not saying this in a bias. I'm not saying this in a fan. I'm talking real talk here. You've got enough talent. I think you can be every bit as good as these West Coast guys. Ethan Dotson, Cody Laney, Shannon, DJ Shannon going back there and running well. I think that, look what Gray did. Look what Weinberger did. Last year they were in the show and finished well. There's no reason that you can't do that except holding yourself back. Sometimes you got to roll the dice and take the chance. And I know you, Joey, and I know that you're not afraid to do that. I mean, are the plans to get in the Midwest and pull the trigger next year?
Yeah, I mean, this kind of depends on a couple different things. But, another reason why I'm doing it is because all my friends race it. Gray, Colin, the Katie brothers, and Bryson and John Campos were all really close. and we're all really competitive with each other, and it's just, I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be added. You add another top tier driver to what they already have to compete against out here, and it's going to be fun for the fans. I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm not excited to get out of late models by any means, but I'm excited to go put a little whooping on the Superman car every once in a while.
And Colin standing right next to him, looking at him, shaking his head.
Yeah, I can see him shaking his head right now.
I can see the look on Colin's face right now. And Big
I'm kind of digging that, too.
I can see Big Scott back there just going, Joey.
He probably just got a sock in the shoulder, too.
Awesome.
I'm actually a little bit away from him. He didn't actually hear me.
Okay.
So hopefully he listens to the show.
So you had a great season this year. You won everywhere you unloaded, it seemed like. Let me ask you, in 2019, what was your favorite win of the year?
Oh, gosh. Honestly, probably my favorite. I love going to Madras. That's the track I grew up at, and I know it's a little track out in the middle of nowhere, but winning there and then winning the Loggers Cup at Cottage Grove was pretty cool. I mean, Loggers Cup, we had a good car count. There was like 28 late models there, and all the good guys were there, Duty and everybody.
Sure.
Same drivers that were at Medford, except for a couple. But that race and Madras were pretty close on the scale for the win because it got cool trophies. My Logger Cup trophy is so cool. It's
awesome.
handmade like log trophy. I haven't even taken out my trailer because I don't know where I'm going to put it.
That's great. Awesome. So have we considered an X Factor modified?
I've considered it. It probably will happen down the line. I just right now I'm kind of the whole point of selling the late model is to get into a car that's turnkey, ready to go.
Sure, I understand that.
That I don't have to mess with. That way I'm giving away mine to get something else that I don't have to put a lot of time and effort into because I don't really have the time to be building a brand new car in the off season.
That's a lot of work. It absolutely is, and I think
I did it once. Don't really want to do it again.
Yeah. So I want to touch on the Bud Nationals. You've been there a couple times in the past. I know that you were kind of hoping to go this year. I know you sold your car. The car is no longer going to be yours at that time of year. What do you have any plans, or is your season over?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Well, you and I talked. I don't know. Bud Nationals could be actually happening. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to. I mean, can't
no
say it, but I don't know.
Don't you hate being put on the spot, Joey?
Yeah. Well, I don't. Obviously, I don't own a late model or a modified at this rate right now. So, taking my own car there is not in the cards. But I've had a couple people ask me to drive their cars.
There's been multiple opportunities. This I know.
Yeah, there has been, and it's just actually there's been 3 now, and it's just there hasn't been a full commitment. Or I've had a lot of people that you guys have asked, but haven't really committed. So I want to go for sure because I feel like I should win that race one time before I die.
I think that is nobody is going to disagree with you.
Last year I got wrecked by a lap car running third. Year before, me and Clay had our deal. And I feel like that track owes me one, or I owe it one.
I think you're right, Joey. Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. That was a devastating moment, not only for the fans, I mean for you guys, you and Clay, but for the fans because that was just a phenomenal race you guys had going. And you and I have talked about that multiple times, never on the air, but, I've told everybody.
Yeah, it's 2 drivers going for a win, just hard racing.
That's all it
happens,
was.
Absolutely, that's all it was. And you made the move where you were just a little bit better than Clay. Unfortunately, if anybody's ever been to the Budweiser Nationals on night number 2, you know how sick that track is. Joey, he made the move where he thought he had the best chance of being successful to make the pass, and unfortunately, 2 drivers had the same idea at the same time and ended up at the same spot, and they ended up in the pit area with 4 laps to go. It was a bummer deal. I know it broke a lot of hearts for the fans, for his fans and your fans and everybody that was a race fan got to see a phenomenal show. It was a heartbreaker. I think a little redemption.
I wanted to win that race because me and my crew stayed up till 5 a.m. working on the car. Yeah. I mean, we had no business even running up there, and we were. And
well, you get unloaded on day 1, and this is how Joey's weekend went 2 years ago at the Bud Nationals. He unloads on day 1, goes out to qualify, lap 1 of qualifying, sticks it into the turn 3 wall wide open, and there's this thing called bending a race car, and there's one called, I'll say, destroying a race car.